So next morning and spending time on post-battle stuff took another hour. Probably because I'm basically managing two warbands at the same time. If I were two players, one could do the his own stuff, and the other, yeah, you get the gist of it. So the map was obviously increased. Our new target is up here. But okay, if so, for little information, basically, the leader of the squad is now dead. Um, and one of them, the little ghoul with the helmet. I called him Hellnose for this campaign because I actually kit bashed him using a spare hat once again from the Manscura Bolt Boy set. And put on the visor in the opposite direction, so that just like the others that use Gloomspite Git's helmets, he has a pointy, sharp nose, and it actually works quite well. So yeah, he died. Some of them got injuries. Luckily, we all didn't got injuries. However, a big problem that has happened is our leader is dead, and he was by far the best unit, so yeah, we are kind of fucked. Originally I thought, okay, now that he is dead, we don't have someone to give these people blood powers again. However, we still have our little hiker, and we hired him for good this time, and he can give us blood, so that we get blood powers, and unfortunately, for the archer girl, this has failed, so she gets a negative modifier for the next few days, while the other two were successful. Context here: in this game, if someone is not mutated, you can try to mutate them if you have someone that is mutated and gives them blood, and if it was successful once, it cannot fail anymore, in that term that someone is horribly mutated into a ghoul that is still part of your group, but must be fed with blood, because if not, then he tries to kill you, so you need to put them out of their misery. But if this just happens once, it is not a big deal, and instead they just get to start the next battle if it occurs over a certain amount of days with half their HP, so no biggie. I just simply wanted to show that this here is basically my folder with all kinds of rules, of all kinds of systems. Obviously on front is now the current system that I'm developing, and I think I'm trying to decorate the stuff. So, for example, you saw the pictures already. This is for the ghoul section. Here are all the rules for my ghouls. And now here's Hiker. And so here come the rules for his warband now. Later on, once this campaign is finished, or once I got proper rule sets for everything, I will reorganize that stuff. Yeah, I like to keep the covers from the sets that I bought, so that I know, okay, which miniatures from which set. So here are the Battle Sisters, and beyond them is the new Vitiates. But I need to put something. I need to put the paper in. Shit. And then we're coming to the Age of Fantasy section. All the rules here, also here campaign rules. This was my big inspiration, of course, from one-page rules, but I also looked at other things like Necromunda, and currently I look at More Time and all the other stuff. And here is also Age of Fantasy Quest, which is also basically Star Quest. While we're here, the only gripe I have with this printout is I had to do an item list myself. I think if you truly want to play this game without relying on the app, you need to print that stuff out. Here. This is something old. It's not important. This is, I think, where I tried to make up dungeon rules for one-page rules quest. It didn't work out yet. That is an older version. Yes, and here... I don't think they are still up to date, but I basically printed out the spells for each faction so that I have a nice little sheet to look at when we're playing the game with mages. So this is for one-page rules, Age of Fantasy, obviously. And here I made a little map in case I'm going to play a one-page rules campaign. The plan is that once I finally painted the Snakeman, I want to play with my brother, because earlier I told he plays the Saurians, and since my orc army is now finished, I would play the orcs. So this would be the first confrontation, and then we see where it goes. So a volcano has erupted and is basically now submerging the entire place in lava. And there are different factions and stuff, and yeah, we will see. I probably planned too high scoped things. I know that by now. Yeah, so this is the part where it gets nice. I don't draw too much lately. I did get back into it when starting to sketch earlier. But what I kind of want to do, I don't know how to do it exactly, because I want to do it in a way that I don't need to redo the whole thing or invalidate something, because this here is a picture of Fulmina. This was my very first miniature that I ever assembled and painted ever. And yeah, one day I decided to just draw her without her mask. She basically puts this on to look scary on the battlefield. And I designed her like this, a little bit shy, because over the course of all kinds of games, she just rolls awful. And this guy basically follows her steps very faithfully. And so here it has become kind of a meme, and because of this year, I just wanted to do that. And yeah, I also written down the stats. This is totally impractical for use on the battlefield. So what I kind of want to do is I want to have some kind of book where I can more or less slot in pictures, or where I draw pictures on one side, maybe like a folder or something, but smaller. And then next to that, so let's say here is the picture of the unit and here is a blank slate, I can just slot in rules that I print out or write down, so that I can update that part and have a visual representation here. I don't know if I will ever do that, because it would be a hell lot of effort, but it would be really cool to have truly customized statistic cards. Yeah, I actually did one other, and the request of a friend of mine. This is the Gothazar Harvester from the Ossiarch Bone Reapers from Age of Sigmar. It's actually a woman. I never painted it because I messed up this part right here, but maybe I should just paint it. Yeah, I also made a little drawing to represent the Saurian army of my little brother, with the little Snake King, his fellows that only hit on 6s and still managed to take down my leader one game. A little bit of dinosaurs, a T-Rex. He looks ugly, but he looks badass. Once again, the Snakeman. And yeah, I have written down cards for units. Hell lot of effort, but they're, for the new version of one-page rules, they're basically useless. So, but I might just continue to use them for upcoming games. And if you remember one of my previous videos, the one where we built the hiker, I did showcase you my Gormiti figures. And this is a picture where I wanted to draw them as some kind of army. Like, what if there was a set with miniatures where these Gormiti figures would be part of, and you'd have a little army set. Though I have drawn the leader here kind of like a sage or a mage, a little bit of creative liberty. If you're struggling with drawing like me, stuff like this is actually pretty good. You don't have to finish it. You just have to draw the parts that you want to draw. And maybe then you can come back later to finish them. Or you practice. Because if I'm correct, this guy here, it's not my first attempt. This here was the first attempt. And he looked ugly as shit, so I just tried to do it again, and now that I have done this failed attempt, I did better. It's trial and error, that's what this whole hobby is, that's what everything in life is about. By the way, Fulmino was drawn by Shiny Lost during last year's art fight. If you don't know what art fight is, I'll probably talk about that next year or sometime like that. It's basically an event where your OCs are drawn and you draw the OCs of other people's. I get the link to... actually, I don't know if I can do Twitter links. I think in this YouTube account I can do. If I can, I put him in the description, a link in the description. Oh yeah, and this is the work in progress of my Terminators. Bye!